what I'm repairing here are these cracks. You can see that crack there. There's one in all three of these ribs. All right, step one is to prep the work area. I'm gonna use a stainless steel wire brush to scrape away anything that's loose. All right, now I'm gonna scuff it up with some 80 grit sandpaper. I'm gonna scuff up the entire rib because I'm going to be using all of that surface area. All right, now I'm going to get down inside these cracks and just hit it with some sandpaper really quick. I don't want to do anything too aggressive in here. I just want to clean off the surface. Normally in a repair like this, you would remove anything loose. I might go in there with a Dremel tool and remove it and use filler. But I actually don't want to do that here. I don't want to remove any more than I have to. And the reason is, when I bring this together, I want it to go back to its old spot. All right, I just opened the garage door so I could get some more light in here. It's finally warmed up enough to open the door. So yeah, we can see a lot better now. I have to sand everything to get rid of as much of the shiny plastic as I can. We want to promote a very good adhesion. All right, I just sanded everything. I'm gonna blow the dust off. All right guys, the next step, I am ready to clean the surface and I'm going to use acetone. And I have to be a little careful here. The acetone with ABS plastic, it's gonna soften it up. So I have to not overdo it, but I do want to use acetone to soften up the plastic. And the reason is I want to get a chemical bond here. I would prefer a chemical bond over a mechanical bond. I sanded everything with 80 grit paper, so I will at least have a mechanical bond, but I am hoping for a chemical bond. The chemical bond will be the resin mixing in with the ABS. So the acetone will soften up the ABS, and also the resin in this kit is a polyester polymer. So the polyester polymer also reacts with plastic. So I should have a very good chemical reaction if I do everything right. So I already pre-cut my strips. I created a template. All three of these ribs are actually a different height. So I started with I made one template. The curve and the notches and everything are the same. The thickness changes. So I started with the thicker one. I'm gonna do 2 strips per side, and then I trim down my template to make the next one, and so on. So I'm ready to clean it with acetone and mix my resin. Alright guys, so now for the secret weapon here. I'm going to use bungee cords and turnbuckles to pull the door panel back into place to close up those gaps. I chose turnbuckles so that I can adjust it and tighten it. And I like the idea of bungee cords because they're rubber and they're going to grip more than they're going to cause problems. For example, if I use a rope, it causes a lot of friction and it's very abrasive. All right, so now they're in place. Now all I have to do is tighten the turnbuckles. And as I tighten them, you'll see these gaps close. I'm going to kind of do all three at the same time. There we go. There we go. All right. All my turnbuckles are in place. You can see those gaps are closing. All right, guys, I got everything in place. If you can see, the gap has greatly been closed up. The gaps, all three gaps are closed up a lot more now. That's important because what happens is when these ribs crack here, which really is a poor design, if you notice they crack in the corner. If they would have somehow been able to put a fillet in there, some kind of a larger radius, it may not have cracked there. But what happens is, I believe, when these crack and they spread apart, this lip here doesn't sit on the top anymore. So a lot of people make a mechanical fastener and they drill some holes and they put some brackets on there. That to me, that's more of a band-aid. That might stop it from cracking more and spreading further apart, but it's really not going to help it sit on the door better unless you put this back in position, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put it back in position. I'm going to fiberglass it, and then if I wanted to, then I could put brackets on. Once it's back in place, then I can put brackets on, so I could double reinforce this with fiberglass and brackets. Now, I'm not going to take the time to make brackets. It's just not worth it. I'm going to see how this fiberglass holds up first. So I'm ready to lay the resin. Everything's clean. I washed it with acetone. I'm probably going to hit it with acetone one more time just to make sure the plastic is softened up. And then I'm going to mix my resin and go to town. All right. I'm going to put some resin on here. Right, it's been about 4 hours. I've let it cure a little bit. I'm going to go in and shave off the excess, and I'm going to do one more coat. So I just went in with the razor blade, shaved off the excess. Alright, so here we go. I've got my first layer is done. I just went in and trimmed it. I'm going to do another layer before it hardens up too much. And that's going to be it. Alright, so the first layer is done. For the first application. I just went in and trimmed it. It was hard enough that I could go in and trim off with the razor blade. And I'm going to go in and put one more layer on and call it a day. GoPro, stop video.